right, thank you so much. And it's a pleasure knowing that you're still staying with us here on the People's 105.5 FM Abuja. Check your time. It's almost 10:19 a.m. We're making progress as we grind out the day. I told you we'll be having an extension of the breakfast today. I'm being joined at the table, like I told you. Initially, we were supposed to have two guests, the commissioner from Jigawa State, but that we have to move it to another day. But it's still my pleasure to welcome the Commissioner for Information and Strategy of Adamawa State. Is in the studio. He's at the breakfast table sipping coffee with us. Imaginary coffee, but still it's coffee. Let's welcome Barrister Leader Leneke. He's a lawyer and an astute politician and administrator. Like I said, he is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State. Welcome so much, Commissioner. Thanks for making our time, even at the very shortest of notice, but you came here.
It's an honor to
That's
join
really
you
appreciated.
on the program. Thank you.
All right, so a lot to talk about. We'll talk about your job as Commissioner, but your principal is he's the man who actually has thrust you in the public eye. So let's start from him, the governor of the state. He's talking about like building a new Adamawa with policies that he says are structured to be lasting and impactful and sustainable. Almost made me ask whether Adamawa has not had a sustainable plan for itself, but he called it the 10-year roadmap.
Yes.
And I know that at the most he can do 8 years in office.
That's right.
And he's actually done about half of that 8 years. He's planning for 10 years. That's really long term. So it gives a clear picture that he wants to put in legacies that will leave him in office. Give me a clearer picture of this 10-year roadmap. I hope it's not one of those slogans that at the end of the day is just hot air.
All right. Thank you very much, Maddox. Once again, it's an honor to join you on the program. Thank you for having me. Talking about my governor, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Dr. Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, Governor of Adamawa State, and the 10-year roadmap. Well, when he came into power, let me take you down memory lane a little bit. In 2014, he was acting governor. In fact, the man is the first man to be acting governor 3 times. When His Excellency Nyako was governor, at various points, at various times, about 2 times, his election was quashed at the courts. And at that time, the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri was Speaker of the House of Assembly. So he kept being acting governor on 2 different occasions. And eventually, His Excellency Nyako was impeached in 2014, and he again became acting governor. So he's a man who came in 2019 with a lot of experience. In all fairness to him, he came with a lot of experience with him. So when he came, he drew a plan, what he called the Adamawa Master Plan, a developmental plan. It was a 5-year plan. Okay. And that 5 years expired this year. So about the time the 5-year, expired last year actually. About the time it was expiring, the man looked at what else, what are the other possibilities ahead of us, considering the so much that he has done for the state. You will know probably that the man is called the fresh air governor because he has brought a lot of fresh air in governance. As far as governance is concerned in Adamawa State, the people call him the architect and builder of the new Adamawa of our dreams. And that is also because in terms of infrastructural development, and I am on national television and radio program, so I will tell you with all sense of responsibility that this is not politics, this is not propaganda. In all fairness to the governor, the infrastructural programs or projects that he has accomplished in the last 7 years as a governor put together is more than the infrastructural projects all the governors since the creation of Gongola State have achieved for Adamawa
State. The old Gongola State.
The old Gongola State, not just Adamawa State. The old Gongola State. The man has opened up the state. He has modernized the state. In fact, he calls it urban renewal projects. And these projects are not just domiciled around the state capital alone. It is across the entire 21 local government areas of the state. And so, for a man who has achieved this much in terms of development, and I can tell you, it's not just about physical projects, also human capital development is one of our cardinal and key points in this administration and what His Excellency does. He has touched on education. Adamawa State has free education policy. You may want to know.
Before you go into education, because you've mentioned urban renewal.
Yes.
I recall the governor for 3 consecutive times has received the presidential honor as the best performing governor.
That's right.
In infrastructure and urban development. So speak to me about this. What are those landmark projects that have been done, the ones that are going on, that if I call somebody in Yola or in Hong or some other parts of Adamawa, they will tell me, these are the things going on, because you've mentioned the fact that it's not just about the capital, but he's also leaving his imprints in other local governments.
All right. Thank you for bringing that up. I was hoping I will get to that, but now that you've brought it up, let me address that. If you had gone to Yola before 2019 and now, Yola, very typical of some state capitals around the north, is a little more than
I've been to Yola. Beautiful place, really.
When he came, one of the things he decided to do was to open up the capital city in terms of road projects. And in these road projects, currently, we have 5 flyovers across the city of Yola, opening up traffic, making traffic easy to go. There was no one single flyover in the state capital before this. These are all brand new flyovers constructed by him. And we're not talking about just some miniature flyovers. I wish we have the pictures so you can see some of them with great interchange, underground interchange and all of that. He has done that. One of our most commercial roads, the Bank Road, or we call it Galadima and Way. It was just a normal 4-lane road, 2 on the other side, 2 on the other side. And perhaps that was our biggest road and the most busy road. It's the road that leads to the airport, the road that all the banks are on.
That's why it's called Bank Road.
Bank Road. Today is an 8-lane road.
More like a superhighway.
Superhighway. That is what he has done. His Excellency has decided to open a new part of the city because the major city of Yola is now already filled up or congested, so to say. He had decided to open a bypass road that is in an area that is almost as large as 2/3 of what Yola currently is.
So urban expansion now.
Urban expansion, the Malkoi bypass, with another very large superhighway, because he understands from the onset the kind of traffic that in the future we will be experiencing. Now, this governor has done so much in terms of project. You may wish to know, he has even constructed a new governor's office, perhaps one of the best in the country. I'll send you all that, the pictures as well. When we came into government, healthcare service delivery was a major problem, owing to the fact that there were no infrastructure to even handle that. I give you an example. Where I come from, the part of Adamawa I come from, is called Numan Federation.
All right,
Numan Federation. It comprises of 5 local government areas. There was only one general hospital in Numan. So if you're in Sheleng local government, you're in Lamurde local government, you're in Guyuk local government, and you're in Demsa local government, if you have a problem that is about healthcare and you need referral, you will have to be referred to Numan. Pregnant women trying to give birth, everybody. And in the course of that, a lot of people have lost their lives unnecessarily. Avoidable situation. Since His Excellency came, he has constructed 10 brand new cottage hospitals, each of them with the capacity to admit at least 60 to 80 people at once, well equipped with modern facilities, well staffed, and all of that. His Excellency has done that across the entire state in local governments that almost at certain point never had as simple as a dispensary. A dispensary to cater for the health needs of the people. In terms of education, I was going to go to that. Now I'm talking about the infrastructure of education. His Excellency has constructed what we call model schools across the 21 local government areas of the state. Every local government
has one.
21 model schools from nursery to secondary school.
Okay.
Public schools from nursery to secondary school with some of the best facilities, sporting facilities, each of them with a mini stadium, as a matter of fact, for these young people to do that. Adamawa State had never had a stadium. Unfortunately, sadly, a state without a stadium, we don't. That's why we've never hosted any meaningful sporting event. National Sports Festival cannot even come close to Adamawa because we do not have it. Today, His Excellency has constructed a brand new, complete, modern stadium that is even due to be handed over this month
by the contractors.
He was there a few days ago on Tuesday, to be precise, and because they're still working on the swimming pools, the Olympic size swimming pools, and a few other courts, the basketball court, the handball court, and all of that. They're just doing finishing touches before they hand it over. These are things that were never in existence before now. His Excellency has gone ahead in terms of schools, secondary schools, in terms of infrastructure, buildings, renovation of existing structures, putting fence around schools that before now never had fence. There were many schools we had who they were just having block of
and that goes to the heart of school safety, especially considering what's happening in the country now.
Especially considering that we're in the Northeast. So some sense of security, some sense of an effort to protect the lives of these young people must be put in place. So His Excellency has worked on that and so many other projects I can go on. We have an international conference center that is upcoming. Probably it is going to be, not even probably, it's going to be the largest conference center in the Northeast. It has an international conference hall large enough like what we have at the International Conference Center in Abuja here, and other adjoining smaller halls for different kinds of meetings and every other thing that comes with it, restaurants, clinics, and all of that. It's a holistic project. His Excellency is constructing a shopping mall in Yola. I'm not sure we have that in Abuja. I'm not sure we have that. Not even the shop rights. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm coming with my crew to Adamawa, so we would interrogate some of these things you're saying.
We'll be glad to host you, Ogamadok. We'll be glad to host you. It is a shopping mall like none of its kind in the whole of northern Nigeria. And I've been around this country. There are only two capital cities in this country. I've not been to Yenogwa and Gusau. I've been to every other capital city in this country. So I have seen things. These are the projects. His Excellency has constructed two brand new markets in Adamawa State. The Yola, when you go to Yola, we have the old part of the city that we call Yola Town. And then we have Jimeta, which is the new part of the city. In Yola Town, we've had this issue about the market, the main market, incessant fire outbreaks from time to time. His Excellency demolished that entire market and rebuilt it all over afresh. There's so much I can just go on and continue to reel out to you in terms of infrastructural development under the government of His Excellency the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri. That is why, like you rightly mentioned from the onset, two sitting presidents from the opposition party had no choice but to acknowledge and recognize that and give him awards in terms of infrastructural development.
Right.
Yes.
I allowed you to go on that voyage because I also wanted you to draw out your leg.
Yes, sir.
So that I will now question you, interrogate you on each of those legs you brought out. I asked you about infrastructure. Yes. You did give an answer, but you veered into others also. Okay. Brilliant. Now, back on infrastructure, you talked about the flyovers, and from what I know, they're mostly within the Yola Jimeta axis.
That's right.
But what about the local
government areas? Beautiful.
In terms of roads.
Beautiful.
I hope these awards are not being given when they see gigantic infrastructure in these major centers. Yes. But what about the roads? Talk to us about
there is no local
government infrastructure
area,
roads.
There is no local government area in Adamawa State today that has not enjoyed road construction of at least 15 to 20 kilometers under the administration of His Excellency the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri. 15 to 20 kilometers. In fact, there are those
with the state's funds
Yes,
or with the local government's funds?
No, with the state's
because a lot of states, we see them, they're doing joint accounts for joint projects.
Okay.
They cut the money from the local government. Are your local governments getting their funds?
I
really?
understand what you're saying.
Are your local governments getting? Let's start even from there before we get to the roads.
All right, let me inform you that Adamawa is the first state I know that started the financial, autonomy of local government areas.
Okay.
His Excellency the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri was the first, even before the
Supreme Court judgment
and he had already given local governments their autonomy in terms of control over their finances. The state government does not interfere in local government finances. Of course, I understand there's joint allocation committee, joint accounts committee that come together because there are some statutory issues that the local government and the state share. For example,
some funds that the state government is supposed to give to them also from its own allocation, aside from their own statutory allocations.
That's right. Because, for example, I was going to mention the Adamawa State University. The funding of the Adamawa State University is a joint venture between the state government and the local government. So sometimes they come together and make those contributions. But what I'm saying is, of all these projects have nothing at all
to do with the funds
local government funds. It is a state government and its own funds and projects. So I haven't seen all of this.
By your words, a minimum of 15 kilometers of roads.
Minimum of 15
done
kilometers
in each of the 21 local governments.
Of the 21 local government areas.
And these are proper trunk C roads, local government roads.
Yes, sir. Some of these roads come with even bridges, not just culverts. Bridges. In fact, especially local governments in Adamawa North, where before now Adamawa North had the ravaging effect of Boko Haram. And Boko Haram had this attitude of blowing up bridges wherever they find them,
destroying infrastructure,
destroying them. So all of these bridges today have been rebuilt, they're built back and functional. In fact, His Excellency the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri has constructed certain roads that are even federal roads. The road from Michika local government leading to Madagali local government area. And this is from one local government to another. So what I was saying about 15 to 20 kilometers is the minimum you can find in every local government area. There are local government areas like Madagali and Michika which had gone under severe activities of Boko Haram that have enjoyed more road constructions, far more than 15 kilometers and all of that. And like I say, with very, very beautiful bridges by very reputable construction companies, not the kind of construction that after a few years you're not sure whether they would stand the test of time. This is what we're doing. We're building infrastructures that will last, that will last into generations and all of that. So these are the infrastructural developments.
At the local government. So now that we're still talking about local governments, your state just held the local government elections. And a miracle of sorts, a miracle of biblical proportions forward. The opposition PDP swept the 22 local government, 21 local government seats and about 226 councillorship seats. All swept without your governor's APC picking up any. And I said it's a biblical proportion because it looks like the wall of Jericho falling without someone firing a shot at it. And it's even more constructive that just a couple of months ago your governor moved from the APC to the PDP. Is this the people of your state telling your governor that, Oga, you misfired and we're voting against you? What happened?
No, I can explain that. Okay. Before now, Adamawa State had basically largely been a PDP state. It's been a PDP state. Our people followed the PDP, enjoyed the PDP, as it were. And in all fairness, it wasn't like the PDP offended the people of Adamawa State when the governor decided to move to the APC. It was a strategic move for the good of the state based on the manifold crises that had bedeviled the PDP and had continued even up to today as we speak. All right, the PDP has two factions that claim ownership or leadership of the party one way or the other. You will recall my governor, as a matter of fact, was the chairman of the convention committee, the last PDP, the last known PDP convention in Ibadan. He was the chairman of that convention, and the outfall from that convention has continued without abate. He had tried all he can to bring warring parties together, done all he can to see that these issues are settled amicably, but they've continued to elude solution. And looking at it, and His Excellency, considering also that he is about to leave, but also having the good intention, having a good heart for Adamawa and its good, decided it is better than to remain a part of a ship that is already sinking. Obviously, already sinking. It is better we make a strategic alliance, and the strategic alliance is such that we wanted to align with the ruling party at the center, the ruling party at the national level. That's number one. Number two, the reasons for what happened in our local government election. Before we moved to the APC, we had already conducted the primaries, primary elections for the local governments.
Okay.
And candidates had emerged. At the time, we were in PDP still. So I can assure you the best candidates that emerged across the local governments were the PDP candidates, because, there's this apathy people have about local government election. Naturally, they will just feel, other parties will feel, well, local government elections are a state run thing. You never can win. So people who picked up tickets under other political platforms were just people who probably did that to introduce themselves into politics, to have the opportunity for their names to be mentioned, that they had contested, to test the waters. So they were not really credible, formidable candidates to stand against the PDP candidates who were all already there. So when the elections came, in fairness to the PDP again, the PDP and all its candidates, from the gubernatorial candidates, began to do a local government to local government campaign tour. They did a massive, well-organized campaign. I can assure you of that. The APC was unable in Adamawa State to organize itself for reasons I may not know. Maybe that will be a question to the party, to the party leadership. They did not do that. I'm also aware, just before election, the APC in Adamawa had announced, the party had announced they were pulling out of the election. Okay. So we actually pulled out of that election. We didn't really go into that election, and that was why the PDP had its day. They had a field day like they did. So that was what happened. You can now understand.
Okay, yes. we just digressed, but I'm still returning to some of the issues you've talked about. The governor building hospitals in all the fresh local hospitals in all the local governments that never had them. So it's not about building the hospitals. That's right. What about quality of health delivery in the state? Having buildings in themselves does not translate to what's the quality of it? Is there data? Are there indices to show the improvement in the quality of life, like maternal child mortality, maternal mortality, and other indices to show improvement at these places? Or are we just having buildings for the sake of building new structures?
My governor is a very strategic governor. Before he starts anything, for example, number one, before he starts any project, he has a timeline when that project will be completed. He has a deadline where you must deliver on the project. So when he started the cottage hospitals project, 10 brand new cottage hospitals, that's number one. The existing specialist hospitals, our state specialist hospital, is now converted to the University Teaching Hospital. Okay. Because the National Universities Commission has given Adamawa State University the go-ahead to start a medical school. So the specialist hospital is now the teaching hospital for the... Now, other general hospitals across the state were all upgraded, renovated to standard. What the governor did while this physical infrastructure was going on, he ordered for equipment. He ordered for equipment for each of these hospitals. So before they were even finished, equipment were ready. And this equipment, let me even shock you, they are not Chinese equipment, they're American equipment.
I don't know how China took away bullets on this matter now.
Because often people think Chinese equipment are substandard and all that. Well, anyway, they say they are in grades. There's the American grade, the European grade, and the African grade. I don't know about that too. Okay, but the governor ordered for all this equipment. The governor employed able, and as you may know, medical doctors, medical students, let me put it that way, from Adamawa State, enjoy monthly salary. The moment you're a medical student, you are automatically on monthly salary throughout your study.
Wow.
So a lot of our medical, they are well paid. They are well paid. That's why you will never hear of a strike from medical workers in Adamawa State, except when it is a nationally called strike and they have to honor their unions and all of that. So we have enough doctors to man these facilities, these medical facilities that are provided. So in terms of equipment, we have. In terms of medical staffing, we have enough staff to man all of these facilities as they should. And that definitely has been a very, very good development in terms of reduction of, like what I say, avoidable casualty, avoidable deaths, infant mortality, mother, pregnant women, and all of that. They are now properly and well catered for. The data is out there. Statistics have shown that Adamawa is probably one of the most improving states in terms of almost everything: economy, healthcare, education. Today, our results in WAEC and NECO is one of the best in northern Nigeria. We compete with.
I was going to ask you about education. So you've talked about the schools and all, but I'm wondering in terms of increment in school enrollment. I don't know if you have the data at your fingertips, but you could give us where that is, and then performance, especially at external examinations, whether these new infrastructure and other reforms within the education sector are bringing up the expected impact.
I can assure you that Adamawa State has an enrollment, education, school enrollment of over 90% as at now. As at now, I do not know where you will find kids in Adamawa State who are not even going to school. But you will find some kids on the street in Adamawa. They are not from Adamawa. The Almajiri education for children, most of these children are brought from other states like Jigawa, like Gombe, like Kano, and all of that, for the Islamic Almajiri system of education, but not kids from Adamawa State. The children of Adamawa State do not go through this kind of situation. So that's why I can confidently tell you that statistically, and we can search that, we can Google that, Adamawa has gone past 90% enrollment of school. Good. And primary education is basically free. Free primary education. Adamawa, since the coming of His Excellency Amadou Umaru Fintri, has paid WAEC, NECO, and was that NAPTEC? And NAPTEC, it is free. All of our schools in Adamawa State, except for the private schools, but all public schools, every student in public school go through free WAEC, NECO, and NAPTEC. And that has also drastically improved our scores in external examinations. That has made it very, 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 very well. We've gone past 60% pass in examination. As a matter of fact, what I'm telling you is the statistics for about 2 years ago. In the last 2 years, we must have made some progress and some increase again that I can tell you about that.
All right. Yes. So let's talk about finances now.
Yes, sir.
The governors generally, one could say they're having a good bazaar now. Okay. All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
FAC has increased tremendously.
That's right.
Just yesterday or 2 days ago, the record FAC, highest ever, 2.2 trillion naira was shared amongst the states. But they've been phenomenally high lately. And a lot of the criticism before the huge FAC allocations has been internal revenue generation.
That's right.
Talk to me about Adamawa finances right now.
Yes, sir.
With the huge revenue windfall from the federal, what is the state also doing to improve its IGR, just in case trends change and the huge IGR doesn't come? How solvent is Adamawa to also take care of itself? And then you can add to this the minimum wage in your state. Some states on their own have gone past 70,000 naira, saying, look, we know 70 is the minimum, but then let's do better. Where is Adamawa on minimum wage?
All right, I'll take the issues one after the other. Thank you for asking that question. When His Excellency the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri came into power, the revenue generation, the monthly revenue generation of Adamawa State was less than 2 billion naira monthly.
Per month, okay.
Per month. Today it stands about 7 billion and above every month. Fiscal discipline. His Excellency organized those pitfalls, those leakages that were deliberately created sometime in government, by people in government, and all of that were all blocked. He brought in consultants. He brought in people who could help the revenue generation. So in terms of that, and that is why today Adamawa is second in terms of VAT contributions to the national pool. Second. That is also a verifiable fact. The data is out there. So revenue, internally generated revenue, has drastically, heavily improved in Adamawa State. Adamawa State is the fastest growing economy in northeastern Nigeria. It is also on record. The data is out there. The fastest growing economy. It has opened the space for business, economic activities in Adamawa State. And even in the northeast, Adamawa is probably the most safest state you can do business in terms of security. Notwithstanding that we're in the northeast and we're among the 3 states at a point that we're declared emergency rule was declared
the Bay States.
Yes, exactly.
Borno, Adamawa, Yobe.
His Excellency, through deliberate, conscious, purposeful planning, has planned one of the things we enjoy in Adamawa State more than anything else. In fact, what we love to talk about is the security.
Because I was going to ask about security, but you've gone into that. So just go ahead. So
is the
speak to security there.
Is the security. His Excellency has invested heavily in security through collaboration with security agencies, through collaboration with local security vigilante organizations who have continued to help in keeping the security, especially in the bushes and all of that, through collaboration with religious leaders, community leaders, our local traditional leaders. As you may also know, His Excellency last year had coronated 7 brand new emirs and chiefs across Adamawa in places where they never existed, and that has also brought some sense of acceptance, some sense of belonging to these peoples who never had and had always yearned for it. So that sense of security has improved drastically the economic activities around Adamawa State. Yola, the state capital, I used to make a joke and tell people, but it's not a joke. On a serious note, Yola is safer than Abuja. You can drive through Yola at any time of the night or the day without anybody molesting you, without anybody stopping you, without any police checkpoint. We don't have it in Yola. There are no police checkpoints in Yola. That's the truth of the matter. Any time of the day. You probably, as you drive, you might see police vehicle, patrol vehicles park at strategic junctions just to oversee
security visibility,
but nobody stops you. If any stoppage is just to do the normal police search and all of that, and you're good to go. That is the kind of security that His Excellency has worked towards. And you would be aware probably Phillips Consulting recently brought out their assessment on performance across all the states of the Federation. And Lagos came tops. Ogun came second, Kaduna came third, and Adamawa came fourth. In fact, Lagos is the only 5-star according to Philip Consulting. Ogun, Kaduna, and Adamawa are 4-star. All other states are below that standard. Now, Philip Consulting looks at fiscal discipline. How these huge finances, like you did mention, these budgetary allocations, these FAG allocations as they're done, how states have used them, how they have utilized them properly, judiciously, distributed them according to how they should work. And Adamawa is one of the best in that regard and all that. So as much as FAG has increased drastically, Adamawa is also improving on its use of these resources, these allocations that come to us. We're doing it in a very transparent manner that can be followed, that can be traced, can be tracked in all its happenings and all that. So you can see why we have become a state to reckon with, an example in all that is good and perfect. The Adamawa State holds weekly executive council meetings. It's a state that works with very, very serious-minded approach to governance. So weekly executive council meeting where issues are tabled at executive council, approved by executive council, memos, projects, contracts, and everything must go through executive council approval. It's not just a jamboree of one person or the governor alone who approves and all of that. The normal benchmark of what the governor cannot approve above is kept holistically in Adamawa State. We don't make joke with that. Whatever goes above that must come to council, and council will debate it. Council, as you know, I've not been on the council for too long. I had my ideas of what the council is like. I thought they would just come, take tea and coffee, enjoy themselves after a while. But I've discovered that there's so much debate, so much business that goes on there. A lot of debate about these figures, about whatever it is. A lot of questions are raised before approvals are given. That is the kind of state Adamawa is, and that is how His Excellency runs.
Something just flew into my head because I just remembered seeing that news.
Yes.
The WFP and the FAO recently said there's an expectation of severe hunger.
Yes, sir.
In the Northeast in the next 6 months.
Yes, sir.
And they're actually looking for interventions in that aspect. And Adamawa squarely falls into the Northeast.
That's true.
How much of that affects Adamawa, and if so, what's the state government doing about it? And then probably I'll let you close that up by telling us, okay, what's the political future of Adamawa State? Governor Fintiri is about to sign off on his tour of duty as governor. What next? Is he going to the retirement house here in Abuja? You know what I mean?
I understand.
The former governor of technically former governor of the state, Atiku Abubakar, is on the cards. He's not in the APC, and he's not in the PDP. The legacy parties of Adamawa, what happens at that time? Is there a clash of interest between these two gentlemen? But talk to me about the looming hunger in the Northeast, how Adamawa is or not affected, and then round off with the political landscape. Maybe another time we'll talk about you, because I had some whispers about your politics, but I don't want to make it about you today. So let's go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. You're right on that assessment about the possibility of drought across the Northeast. As you know, a larger part of Adamawa State is a semi-arid area and all that, unless you come to the southern path towards Taraba, towards the Cameroon, that you'll find forested areas. But largely, we're an arid region, and that possibility is there. Statistics data has shown we will experience that. We're taking that seriously as a government. We're making plans. We feel these are avoidable things if you plan ahead and if you walk towards it. Only last month, His Excellency distributed tractors to all 21 local government areas and other mechanized equipment to improve on agricultural activities across the state, to hasten, fasten, make it easier, mechanized farming, which we hope will also give us some level of optimum yield when it comes to in terms of yield and all of that. Government is also working very hard in terms of those areas where we suspect the drought situation will take place. Government has continued, for example, and I can tell you this, to give farmers improved a variety of seedlings, fast yielding seedlings that will yield faster. What is supposed to take 4 months, 5 months, probably within 3 months you should be able to have had it, because rains might just cease at a certain point and all of that. And the state is a very funny state in some point with regards to natural atmospheric situation. Adamawa lies by the river Benue and the river Gongola. We also experience flooding situations during the rainy seasons. So communities around the river banks, community around the Benue, around the Gongola often experience that. It is something we are also making plans when those kind of situations come. How do you avoid the heavy losses that it records that comes with it, and what do you do to ameliorate situations like that? So the governor is working seriously in terms of farming implements and all of that to improve on it. We are also creating the necessary awareness, enlightenment to the people on what to do when situations like this come. Sometimes it's not to panic, but these are the things you are supposed to do. So in fact, through my ministry, the Ministry of Information and Strategy, we're working, the Ministry of Environment in collaboration, we're working to help enlighten people. Of course, the Ministry of Agriculture also. Well, I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you. To go to the last one, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Amadou Umaru Fintri is exiting office in less than a year. I'm always quick to remind people we'll be here for just less than a year. Soon we'll be out of your way. Just in case you're not happy with some things we're doing, I tell them just hang on there and be patient a little more. We'll be out. His Excellency has won the ticket for the Senate of Adamawa North Senatorial District under the flag of the APC. So he's contesting for the Senate, and as I speak with you, reasons I came yesterday to represent him was because he has some engagement around Adamawa North that are very. Currently, he is in Adamawa North, so he's not even in Yola. So it was not deliberate that he didn't come to Abuja. Some of this engagement have been planned already, and there was no way he would have cancelled them because they're a little bit time attached and all of that. So he has plans to contest for the Senate.
That's a given. But how is this going to stack up against the ADC? The APC, PDP, and even possible an NDC.
Yes, I can tell you this. As far as Adamawa State is concerned, Fintri is the leader when it comes to politics in Adamawa State, and nobody almost crosses him in that regard. Not because he is a totalitarian or a dictator of a sort, but because he has so made Adamawa citizens, everybody, his inclusive governance, his people-centered government has made people so satisfied with him that it is only what he says. Yes.
So no shaking.
There's no shaking.
Right.
With regards to Atiku, I think I should mention that I won't be fair if I don't answer that question. Atiku is a political leader in Adamawa State. He's a father figure, a man we don't make light of. We respect him as much as possible. But right now we are on different political platforms, and every man to your tent. And that is
all right. That's as good a place as to live it. But I really have to thank you so much, Honorable Barrister Leader Leneke, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State. It's been quite interesting talking to you. Unfortunately, we're totally out of time. The telephone lines buzzed a few times, but really, there's no time to take any calls. I think the quantum of the information you were able to give us is more important than anything. And so, once again, I want to thank you. I do hope anytime you're in Abuja, drop by. Would love to chat with you again. And hopefully, we'll meet you and everybody else in Adamawa anytime very soon.
You in Yola.
All right.
And we'll take a tour around Adamawa and see what has been done.
I would so much love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Barrister Leader Leneke. And that's why we wrap it up. But don't go away. We have more coming your way after this time out. It's still the People's 105.5 FM Abuja. And of course, you can watch us on UTV Africa. I'll see you again very soon. My name is Maddox. Stay with us.